Bitch!
Welcome to the Unimaginary Friendcast. This is episode 3. I should talk into my microphone. Welcome to the Unimaginary. Starting over. Welcome to the Unimaginary Friendcast. This is episode number 312 of the Unimaginary Friend live stream podcast. We are live on a Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. And oh boy, do we have something in store for you tonight. I am Erin Marie Betty Davis Jr.
I am Nathan Bonnet.
Oh, wait. What? Oh, my God, you guys. And I'm DavidMonster.com. You guys
gotta stay with it,
rattled
producer.
my brain.
You gotta keep your shit together, David.
You got a yes and, baby. What? Go.
Our topic
I said
tonight,
go.
You might have noticed that we have been doing a little series called the Shit or Piece of Shit series, where we take very wealthy and I almost said inspirational. That's not what I wanted to say.
Controversial.
No, not necessarily.
Inconsequential.
Influential people, wealthy people.
So influencers.
Yeah, sort of. Like the OG influencers. And we rip them apart and figure out if they are the shit, like they want everyone to believe, or if they're actually a piece of shit. And so far we've done Elon Musk. He was voted a piece of shit. Last week we did Oprah. She was voted the shit. And this week we have none other than Tom Cruise. And if you've been following our show at all in any capacity, you know that there is an all-out war going on between the hosts here about whether or not Tom Cruise is a deity, a movie god, or a crazy religious monster.
I think it's worth pointing out right now how we're going about gathering information for these challenges.
It's all about rumors, innuendo, and just straight out just making up stuff, right?
Well, it's that for sure, but I was also going to say it's obvious that we have an all-seeing eye and can see every aspect of these people's lives, their internal life and external. So we know beyond a shadow of the doubt, like it's not like we're just cherry picking information from the internet. It's that we have clairvoyance to the truth.
You know what? I'm sure we have lots of new listeners tonight that have never heard us before, and I'm sure that's a really good introduction to who we really are as a podcast. Good job, guys. Well, no, let me set the record straight for any newbies. We obviously always do extensive research on both sides when we don't come in. This one might be a little biased, but we usually do not come in biased. We give everyone a fair shake, and they have to prove to us whether or not they are POS or TS.
Isn't there just selection bias, though, whatever we select to bring as evidence? Because we're bringing the entire spectrum, right, guys? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right. That's
We've
right.
studied it for years, the subject, and we, scientifically weeded out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mentioned bias, and I would say the last two there was no bias. What?
No, okay.
What?
I don't know.
Sure.
Like, or maybe maybe we had a little. But coming into this one, because there's such a history with Tom Cruise in this podcast, I just feel like it's fair to let our listeners know David is an ex-Scientologist and has a lot of insights into Tom Cruise in that part of his role. Nathan works in the entertainment industry. He's an actor, so he has a lot of insights into Tom Cruise in that side of his life.
I also have a tattoo of Tom Cruise on my back.
And he also came to our wedding. So.
Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah. So anyway, I am Switzerland. I am very neutral. These guys are going to have to.
You're not very neutral.
What? I could be swung either way in this debate. I don't know how.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
He's a very controversial person. So I think this is a really interesting one to do. I think Oprah was not the best subject to do because it was just too easy. She's just she's too good of a person. We really have to get people that are.
We're going to come to that conclusion with this one as well, Erin.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We will see.
Anyway, shall we get into our news?
David's practicing the Heimlich maneuver.
I feel like nobody's gonna have bigger news than I have. So
Okay, go for
I
it.
should, my news
Better be good.
You guys should all shove your news up your butt.
Okay, give your news.
I will when this graphic is off the screen. Okay. The only news that the entire world cares about right now is that the Philadelphia Eagles are in the Super Bowl tomorrow.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yes.
If they win, are you and your brother going to lose your damn white minds again?
No, my brother's in Las Vegas, so he's leaving me behind to lose my own what damn white mind?
Damn white mind, yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
what did your brother go to Las Vegas for when they're in the Super Bowl?
Party. He's gonna party.
Is he watching it there? Or did he go to Super Bowl party there?
Yeah.
Oh wow. All right. Well, he'll lose his damn white mind there, I'm sure, right?
Well, there's gonna be a lot of minds of all colors lost tomorrow night if they win or lose.
That's a very good point.
I saw this thing on. Oh God, I was on the treadmill at the gym, or not the treadmill, this thing,
This is how you
and
use treadmill?
the elliptical,
Oh.
and I forget if it was CNN or Fox News or MSNBC, but they were listing out the people who supporting the Kansas City Chiefs and the people who are supporting Philadelphia, and and it was predominantly Republican on one side and Democrats on the other, and guess which got what?
I feel like I'm gonna have to guess, since Republicans hate Philadelphia so much, that it would be they were Chiefs fans.
Yeah, why do they hate Philadelphia?
Because it's like liberal and the sanctuary city.
It's very important in swinging the state towards the left.
Oh,
The country, so it's just bound to have more.
And it's the Kansas City Chiefs, and all of these Native American named teams are under fire from the left. So I'm sure they're standing strong with the right is standing strong with the name of the chief. Do you think that's worth? It's a
worthy point.
Yeah, I think that's worth.
Yeah, because that's important to keep all of the old, derogatory names. That is important. That's more important than jobs or, the prices of things. Names. That's more important.
All right, I'll go with my news.
Oh, okay.
I just came back from a fabulous vacation. If you follow the Unimaginary Frankcast Instagram page, which if you don't, you're just missing out on such amazing visuals and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I was just in the Bahamas, vacationing in the Bahamas.
That is so exotic and tropical.
Aqua blue water,
Mm-hmm.
sunshine, 80-degree weather.
Well, you're talking to
pools,
David, who's in
bikinis.
LA.
Oh yeah, he lives on the beach. Why is he shouldn't?
But they have dirty sewage water out there.
That's
So
a good point.
I'm going to interrupt with my news. My news is that I have never hated any two people in the world more than I hate you guys right now. Or actually, than I hated you when I started seeing the pictures of
yeah,
you.
because we're not there now, so you can't hate us now.
We're just in
And it's
Philadelphia now.
It's pronounced the Bahamas. Was it as magical as it looked?
That's
a weird word, magical.
The resort we stayed at was it was like the only description that really makes any sense is if you've ever been to Disneyland. If you take Disneyland and it like fucks hard Las Vegas and then like poops out a child somewhere tropical, that's where we were at.
That sounds amazing.
Because it was like this epic water park / massive aquarium lagoon with like bars and restaurants and
a casino,
everything perfectly groomed. Like, yeah, there's casino and like it was wild. It was so big too. We were there for not a full week, but we just like didn't even come close to seeing everything.
It was very clean and very beautiful.
Like perfectly groomed. Like
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Wait, was it crowded and packed so you couldn't see everything?
No,
it wasn't.
No, that was another thing. There was a couple times where we looked around and we didn't see another human anywhere.
See, that sounds perfect. What island? Tell the island and the resort, because I think I want to go there.
Atlantis.
Oh, wow. And which island?
Paradise Island. It's right off of Nassau.
Nice. I hate you guys. Was it all you can eat, or did you have to buy each meal?
That was the one downside, is that it was very, very expensive, and everything you had to buy.
What is the average price of a meal? $30 for each meal?
$30. I would say 60.
No,
$60?
Oh, okay.
Collectively, we were spending about $60 for our team to eat for, like, say, lunch.
Okay, yeah, so it's like $30. Oh, well, you guys probably were drinking booze and
No.
no booze. So just $30 a meal, yeah.
Yeah.
You're booze free, David.
Wow. They didn't even give you breakfast?
No. They gave us Keurig coffee cake cups.
Oh, that's nice.
All right, what's your real
People
news,
don't care
David?
about that.
I actually don't have any real news this week because I completely forgot and I'm busy.
Okay, let's move on.
All right. Well, I guess we'll move on to our gold star. There were some pretty intense contenders, but David has our winner.
I don't know if you could call her a winner, but she's going to get a Lifetime Achievement Gold Star because she just died. The worst thing that could ever happen to the world is Cindy Williams, Shirley Wilhelmina Feeney died. And so that means that Laverne and Shirley is no more. Both members are gone. And it's very sad because Laverne and Shirley, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It's literally the best TV show that ever was. There's nothing better ever. There's no better comedy team. And if you're sitting there thinking that it's not a good show, then you're a complete misogynist and probably a racist.
That's interesting.
I've seen the show. It's just been a long time.
It's the thing about it is, look, it's like every other sitcom from the 70s. The writing is not that great. Well, the writing is kind of good for them, but the thing that made the best show ever, and I think that Nathan would understand this, is their relationship was so amazing because what they would do is they would get the script, and then the two of them would improv every scene, like how they would be best friends and what they would do, and they would come up with what they were going to do. So their relationship was probably the best relationship ever shown in a sitcom because it was so well timed and everything comedic wise. They weren't just getting up there and acting. They were being these two characters every week. And it was just beautiful to see. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. I would show it, if I had an improv class, I would show it as an exercise in improv and what improv can do.
Cool.
So I guess maybe next week we could reconsider the parents of Tyree Nichols or all the earthquake victims in Turkey and Syria, right?
Sure.
Next week, maybe.
I mean,
we'll see.
It's just heartbreaking. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't understand. And are you talking
Anyway,
to me?
I think we should move on. So
Okay.
Our main topic, Tom Cruise is taking the challenge tonight, piece of shit or the shit. I don't know if I want to turn it over to Nathan or David.
I just want to start with one fact, which as soon as I say this fact, we'll realize that we could just stop the podcast and declare that he is the shit. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. David, are you ready?
Yeah, it better be good because I have a mic dropper too, but go ahead.
Okay. 1990, Tom Cruise was People Magazine's sexiest man alive.
Blake Shelton was People's Magazine's sexiest man alive. They don't have very good taste. I wouldn't go with that at all.
33 years ago.
Who here would have sex with
Have you
him?
been declared sexiest man alive?
Not yet, but
Aaron?
I'm still young.
David, have you been declared sexiest man alive?
No, but I might as well be if Blake Shelton was and Adam Levine was. I mean, they do not have good taste in men. I'm telling you. And raise your hand if you would have sex with Tom Cruise.
That's a loaded question, David.
So there you go. All right. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to run this bitch. I want you to tell us, Nathan, because I don't understand. And I'm not trying to be mean. I don't understand how anyone could like his acting or anything. I even watched some today because I was like, maybe I'm being too harsh. And there's one piece of work that he has that everybody's like, oh my God, he should have won the Oscar. It's so amazing. And I watched it again today and I'm like, I'm out. I tapped
I'm already
out.
confused why you think Sylvester Stallone is a good actor and Tom Cruise
That's
is
not what I said. You didn't listen. That's not what I said. What I said is in Rocky, the first movie, he did a good job in the first movie. Did you see the first movie?
Yeah.
He did a good job as that person. I didn't say it was a good movie. He did a good job. He was that dumb.
No stake in the game. I don't like or dislike him. I don't like or dislike Rocky. But
that's what I'm saying. And I said in the other movies, he did not do a good job. He was not a good actor.
It just makes me question your taste a little bit.
But wait a minute. Nathan even agreed with me. Nathan, didn't you agree with me that Sylvester Stallone did a good job as the guy in the first movie?
Yes. And I think Sylvester Stallone is a better actor than he gets credit for. He's not the best actor.
Yeah.
The film to watch for his acting ability or as a standout would be Copland. That was a film that kind of
Tom Cruise?
No,
we should
Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
We should talk about Tom Cruise.
All right, so we're gonna start this out. Nathan, just
David.
explain Tom Cruise. Go.
So these are just his wins, award wins.
No, don't talk about that yet. I just want to know why you like him. Like, what is it about him that you like?
But does it matter why Nathan thinks he's a good actor?
I just want to understand. I just want to understand because I don't get it.
You're never going to understand. It's like trying to teach someone how to like a painting that you don't like. You know, it's
That's a good point.
I think we should move past this.
Yeah,
I disagree. Wait, I disagree because it's like what I just said about Cindy Williams is why that show was so good. If he could tell me some of those things, then maybe I'll understand and I won't hate him as much. That's all I'm saying is like sometimes if you understand something a little more or there's some facts about why someone likes something.
I don't agree with anything that he says about.
I'm not trying to agree. I'm just trying to understand because I don't understand. That's all. I'm just trying to understand.
Okay, I just think this is a losing path to go down. But
go ahead. All right, then in 3 sentences, Nathan, go.
Okay. First, I agree with Aaron wholeheartedly, and I feel like you've already made up your mind about this. So there's nothing that I could say, David. But he has a wide range of performances over the course of his career. So if you look at films over the course of his career, he's played a wide range of characters. He's believable. He has been entertaining people as one of, if not the biggest Hollywood star for over 30 years. So there's very few people who can claim that. So yeah, I mean, I'll just stop there, but you're not going to accept any of that anyway. So
no, I mean, you didn't say any of the reasons why you like him, but that's fine.
Believable.
Well, I'll get into some.
Oh, okay, you did say that. Yeah. Okay, so before we get into the, go ahead.
I'll save this for later. But the thing, why I really like him and why I think why he appeals to a lot of people, that'll be the climax at the end.
Yeah, because I'm the not sold on Tom Cruise person here, and I think his acting is just fine. Like I could watch a movie and not see him as Tom Cruise. Yeah, no, it's like.
And ladies and gentlemen, the award for the best just fine actor tonight, Tom Cruise. You're just fine.
As opposed to like Daniel Day-Lewis, who's like you watch him and you're like, oh my god, like I'm not gonna look at Tom Cruise and go, whoa, like that character. But he plays these roles and he does what he's supposed to do, and like I can enjoy his movies. So I guess.
Okay, cool. All right.
Acting.
So we're gonna treat Tom Cruise the way we treat everybody else. We go through all the bad things first, and then the good things. But before we do, we had votes from the audience, and I'm going to read 2 of them: one anti and one pro. The first one is anti. Scott Johnson.
Oh, Scott's here. Hi, Scott.
Is Scott here?
Apparently,
Hi, Scott.
Oh wait, is he not commenting live?
No, he's not commenting live. I took this off the internet. Scott Johnson said, Cruise is a piece of shit Anybody who uses their celebrity status to promote a religion invented by a failed science fiction writer who was told that the way to make lots of money is to start their own religion. Read that part again so it sinks in, people. That is actually a massive scam. That has a spy organization that makes the CIA jealous and abuses people for excessive work, for below minimum wage pay, has to be seen as a piece of shit. Plus, he is not a very good actor. He overacts.
Can I just, I feel like we're getting away from our scientific fact and we're getting opinions off the internet. So I feel like maybe we should stick to our facts.
No, I'm just reading one on each side. So we know that there are people.
All right, fine.
Yeah. And then here's the pro. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys ready? Sit down because it's going to take a little while. Alan Stanfield said, dude's the shit.
Perfect.
That's the pro.
He's right.
That's the pro vote.
But that's why he's such a good person to go through this challenge, is because he does split people.
Totally, 100%.
You know?
All right, now we're going to start with the bad. And do you want me to start with my mic drop, or do you have any bad points at all, Nathan?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, of course. But get started, David. Please get started.
All right, mic drop of all mic drop. You guys have a daughter, right?
No, I know. I knew you were going to say this one first.
And it's in depositions. He had to admit this in depositions. He has not actually even seen his daughter since 2012. And he had to admit this in depositions. And he has not seen his daughter since 2012. There's more to it, but do you guys need any more than that? I mean, that's like, what would it take, Nathan, for you to not see your daughter ever again?
Here's where all the Scientology stuff is going to get me stuck. I'll be honest with you. And I talked about this with Nathan a couple days ago. We had a whole podcast on cults and what happens to people that are in cults and how minds get warped and how much responsibility should or shouldn't that person who is inside a cult take on. And I don't know the answer to that. And I think that any point of him being in Scientology and doing things in the name of Scientology, like, I'm always going to have that question in the back of my mind, like he's
all right, without
doubt done a lot of crazy, wacky, terrible things in the name of Scientology. But I so wonder what that world is really like for him.
Well, let me lay it out for you.
But you don't know either.
No, I do. I know what the policy is, and I know what he has been told, and I know. Yeah, and we've heard from other people. For one thing, Tom Cruise is above the law. Like, he got away with a lot of shit, and he didn't get treated the same way as everybody else. He could do whatever he wanted within Scientology. We know that, and it's not only been confirmed by Leah Remini, but some of the other top executives that have come out.
Yeah.
The one thing I do know is Katie Holmes is declared a suppressive person by the Church of Scientology. Mm-hmm. So not the daughter, though. Not the daughter. So he can still see the daughter. Not the daughter. No, because she was a kid. Like, what is she going to do?
But she probably is now, though, right? Because she's older.
Maybe now she is. But it would be like, let's say you guys got divorced. God forbid you guys get divorced. And Nathan, like, the people you respect most in the world, I don't know, your mom, your dad, and your brothers say, Aaron's evil, so don't see your daughter. Like, that would be the equivalent. Like, how does that fly with you?
It's not just your mom and dad. It's this entire organization of spiritual beliefs. It's
sure. Yeah, I think the big question is, like, do you think Tom Cruise is a true believer?
Do
you think he's a true believer? Do you think he's a hypocrite?
Don't.
Oh, you think?
I think he is a believer insofar as it suits him. I think he's a hypocrite. I know he's a hypocrite because he said that
relation to Scientology.
This is how I know he's a hypocrite. Oh, and this goes under bad too, because he said when he was doing all his Scientology bullshit, going on every news show, and he got so much bad press. And I don't know if you guys were around. You guys might have been too young for this. Well, no, it wasn't that long ago. But he would talk about it. He talked about it on Matt Lauer. He talked about it on lots and lots of shows. Right. And he said Scientology is the most important thing, and you got to get people in Scientology. When he took a hit for it, and when his career took a hit, he stopped talking about it. So his career is more important than Scientology. So I think he's a little bit of a hypocrite. I think
compartmentalization. That isn't.
But what could have also happened, and correct me if I'm wrong, David, is that the church advised him to stop talking about Scientology so his career wasn't hurt, so that he can continue to be the top movie star in the world, because it benefits the church more than anyone that Tom Cruise is the biggest movie star in the world.
That's true.
Totally. But if Scientology was the most important thing, he could stop being a movie star and just get people into Scientology. That would be more important.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so if there's some,
the church would want that.
If there's some brainwashing going on, and I'm not saying there is or isn't, but if there is, they would, I'm sure, want him to maintain his status, because their status is his status.
They want it and he wants it, but there's some hypocrisy there, because you could still talk about Scientology and still be. His career is more important than Scientology. His career is 100% more important than Scientology. Go ahead.
I agree with. I'm not arguing that point.
Yeah.
Knowing how they audit information from their participants, do you think they have dirt on Tom Cruise that they could use?
100%. In fact, one of the top, the second-hand man, like he was even in line to get David Miscavige's job. He came out and he said, yeah, I audited Tom Cruise and I got stuff to say. The next thing you know, he had a meeting with the Church of Scientology, and now he's not talking about Scientology anymore. He moved. He has a better house. Like, yeah, they absolutely 100% have stuff on Tom Cruise. 100%.
So they could use that information to blackmail him and control him.
100%, but this guy got a payout, so he's not talking anymore.
But I mean, they could manipulate blackmail.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
So anything he does, he's kind of at the whim of Scientology, the powers that be in Scientology. So they could make or break him as they see fit.
Did he kill someone? Like, did he? Like, what information?
What are you breaking?
What I'm saying is, what information do they have on him that would ruin him? Did he murder someone?
If he did, I vote that he's a piece of shit. If he murdered someone,
or is he gay? Like, what do they have on him that he's afraid of?
I don't know.
I don't know. What you said that you just said that they definitely have stuff that is strong enough that they could use to blackmail him.
They know about his private thoughts and yeah, I mean, they know that. That's what I'm saying. I can't say, like, I have my own thoughts. I can't say I can't say that I know that they can blackmail him, but I know that they have private.
From your experience in Scientology, the auditing is kind of part of the purpose of the auditing is to gain information about the participants so that you can do that, right?
That's what I came to find out. Yeah, absolutely. Because even when I left, they released information about me that wasn't right, that was bastardized and things. They would tell people things about me that was false, and that was one of the what
was that stuff that you said when you were being audited?
Yes, well, stuff that they twisted and changed and bastardized, and I know this because. The mother of someone who was a friend of mine, a friend of mine came to me and said, because they were with me when something happened, and they said, oh my God, I just had a fight with my mother because she said A, B, C, and D. And I said, Mom, that's a lie. I was there when it happened. And she's like, no, it's not a lie. The church signed it. And I was like, Mom, it's a lie. And who said it? I'm going to find out. We're going to take legal action. The mom freaked out, went back, and she came back and said, I was wrong. That didn't happen. I made it up. She had to say she made it up when she heard it from the Church of Scientology. Anyway, so that's my point. So I think you're giving him too big a pass. Like, first of all, he's above the law in Scientology. And second of all, what would it take to make you not talk to your daughter? That's the question you have to ask. You don't not ask like, oh, is he brainwashed? You just have to say, what would it take to not talk to your daughter or not see her ever again?
I can speak from experience. I'm not going to, there's nothing that you could do to make me not see my daughter. But I know people personally who are very dear to me who haven't seen their kids in 15 years. So I know that situations in families can be very complicated, and it's not that I'm going to give them a quote pass for that, but I've seen this happen in families, and it's never like good, you know.
But is it something the daughter did, or they just decided not to see their daughter anymore?
I mean, I don't want to get into the details about it, but it's, you know, just sometimes family members don't see each other for a long time, you know.
Okay. Well, Katie Holmes has left it open under what do you call it? Under oath in deposition. She said it's open. He can see his daughter whenever he wants. And under deposition, she said, I don't know if you guys read the depositions and what was posted online about what she said. She said that before they got divorced, before Tom Cruise thought there was anything wrong in their marriage, after the honeymoon period, they had a honeymoon period where they got married, and they were on every show, and there was tons of PR.
Wasn't it supposedly arranged through the Church of Scientology? Wasn't that like
it was 100% arranged? It was 100% arranged because many actresses came out and said, "Yeah, the Church of Scientology came to me and interviewed me about being, you know, going out with Tom Cruise," and then they went on date. They would set him up on dates and stuff, so that he was.
She was unheard of. That's just like having a matchmaker, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Matchmaker.
But here's the deal. Wait, let me get to my point. Is that before Katie Holmes said that they had a honeymoon period after they got married, and it was promotion everywhere. And then she said after that was over, he went off and did his movies, and she wouldn't see him for months at a time, and he wouldn't see his daughter for months at a time, and he wouldn't have them even come to the set. Like, they were separate. They were leading separate lives. She said that under oath. And she said that's what led to her wanting to get a divorce, including with the Scientology thing. So he already stopped seeing his daughter before he thought there was any problems in their marriage, or before he thought that she was an SP. And that's under oath in a deposition, and he did not contest it.
Okay, well, it sounds like he's not a great dad.
Point one for David. All right, do you have any points, Nathan?
No, continue with the negatives.
Okay. And he actually admitted, in a deposition, this is the best thing I ever read. He took offense. He said, "This is offensive," when someone said, "Is it true that one of the reasons Katie wanted to divorce you is to get Suri out from under the influence of Scientology?" And at first he said, "That's offensive. And how dare you say that?" And then they said, "Well, Katie Holmes said it." And he said, "Oh, she said that?" And he goes, "Yeah, well," he goes, "Yeah, that was one of the contentions in the discussion we had." So it's like, he said it was offensive, then he's like, "Yeah, that is true. That is true." All right. And then another thing is he knew, one of the things that came out during the divorce is Katie Holmes's phone was tapped. Tom Cruise knew Katie Holmes. Tom Cruise knew that Miscavige, Nicole Kidman's phone was tapped. And Tom Cruise knew about it, that it got, and then after they got a divorce, Nicole Kidman was declared an SP, and her children were told she's evil and don't talk to her. And this is confirmed by like Mike Rinder and even Leah Remini talked to the kids, and they said to her that they were told that she's an SP and they don't want to talk to her.
That's
and
more
Tom Cruise.
Okay, sorry.
Tom Cruise went along with it. Tom Cruise participated in that. He didn't stop it. He said, "Yeah, Nicole Kidman's an SP because she wants to divorce me and she doesn't want to be a Scientologist."
Didn't you?
I can't comment on that because it goes back to the whole cult mentality thing.
David, didn't you report that that I feel like you reported this, that Nicole Kidman, what happened there was Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise were happy and he was kind of drifting away from Scientology, and Scientology was like, "Hey, we got to make sure he doesn't drift. So let's like put a wedge between them and destroy their marriage so we can pull Tom Cruise back to the Scientology side."
I don't know about the wedge and the drift, but David Miscavige has a history of getting in between his I think that was because Mimi Rodgers left Scientology after she divorced Tom Cruise. and then David Miscavige declared her. So David Miscavige has a history of getting in between Tom Cruise's relationships,
Allegedly.
and
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still torn because like I feel like these would all under normal circumstances be dings against this person, but I get stuck in the like this person is in a cult. What does a cult do to your brain?
But what does it take?
I don't know, and I don't know if it gives them a pass or not. Like I'm not saying it does. It just I don't know.
What does it take to be in that cult and do these things, though? It takes a person who's kind of not great already, because the people that leave, the people that won't do, like me, I was in trouble all the time because they're like, you have to do this. You have to stop talking to that person. I'd be like, no, I don't. And then I'd get in trouble. Tom Cruise goes along with it. Tom Cruise is like, sure. Okay. Nicole Kidman's an SP. Okay. I'll tell my kids that their mom is an SP and evil. Like
that everybody that's in a cult is kind of a shitty person. You know, people get roped.
I would argue that. I would argue that there is a mental disposition to being in a cult.
Could be some impairment or something, or some like chemical. I don't know. Like
I would need to see evidence for that. I mean, I think
churches.
I think you're painting them with a very broad stroke that's pretty negative for people who are manipulated. You know, what is it? And it can't be that there's one thing that, you know,
because it's like domestic abuse victims too. It's like, why didn't they just get out of that relationship? Like it's obvious. Like when you're in it, you're stuck, you know. I'm not saying this is what's happening to Tom Cruise. I'm just saying this is why it's really hard for me to take all the negative things and just take it as a black and white thing.
I understand what you're saying, and I think you would have a better point if it was just an average person. But this is Tom Cruise who I feel was treated at a whole different level.
Exactly. So imagine like you wholeheartedly assuming he wholeheartedly believes in this religion. Maybe he doesn't, but like assuming he does, and he's at the top, like he's the top dog, and he's treated like a god, and he has everything he's ever wanted. Like, not a lot of people would want to leave that or would think that there's anything bad there.
And David, I would have to say, and this kind of hits 2 points, is one, whenever I hear him talk about Scientology, he sounds to me 100% like a true believer, like hook, line, and sinker, true believer. But that may be because he's such a good actor.
He's such a good we have that point coming up in a minute. Okay. But think about it. Wait, think about that too. You have to put yourself in these shoes. You're Tom Cruise, and then that comes to my next point. Is this was also confirmed by wait, hold on. It was confirmed by many top officials that were there that even Mike Rinder, who spent a lot of time with Tom Cruise, helping him and being, like facilitating him and servicing him, and Leah Remini even was part of that, and seeing that Tom Cruise saw what was going on. He saw the abuses. He went to the base, Gold Base. He saw what was happening. And Mike Rinder and Marty Rathbun even say that Tom Cruise might have known things that they didn't even know, because he was at that level talking to David Miscavige. So he knew what was going on. And you say that, you might not want to leave this, but think about it. You're in this cult and everybody services your every needs, and then you see abuses. Does a piece of shit say something and stop it, or do they just go along with it because they need that to bolster their ego?
When you ask me to go into his shoes and what I would do, I would obviously leave and expose, or like whatever I would need to do to be a good person, because I want to be a good person. I strive to be a good person. But I've also never been manipulated in a cult, so I don't know. I don't know what that would be like.
Well, let's say.
I think it's very easy to imagine, let's level this up a little bit. It's very easy to imagine that if you found yourself in Nazi Germany, that you would be the person who sees what's wrong and knows it's wrong and fights against the Nazis. But statistically, it's more likely that you would end up being a Nazi guard than like the hero. Everyone likes to paint themselves as the hero, but most people in situations like this end up being the brainwashed follower.
Difference is, though, in Nazi Germany, if you didn't go along with it, you knew your family would be killed. So that's a little bit different than being Tom Cruise and just knowing that you're going to be exposed as a homosexual or something. That's a very different thing.
I mean,
or whatever he's afraid of. Let's just use that as a placeholder because we don't know what he's afraid of, why he would leave the church.
I mean, that's a good differentiation. However, I think it's, I mean, we weren't there, so it's hard to know what he saw, what he knew, what kind of justifications are being given. You know, like I don't want to defend anyone saying like that person's getting punched in the face for no good reason. I'm going to be okay with that. But we don't know that if that's what's happening or what happened. But
even this, put yourself in these shoes. I know you guys. And I know that after a while, if you saw these people working 24 hours around the clock, knowing that they don't get paid, knowing that they don't have freedoms to come and go as they please, you'd be like, enough already, David. Don't have them come to my room and make sure that I have food.
I do that. But again, we're gonna go in circles. Here's
another argument, though. Don't monks and priests and nuns kind of function in the same way? They don't get paid. They don't really have the freedom to come and go. They, work 24/7.
And are you going to? And I think they're horrible too. But what I'm saying is, what kind of a person does it take to be okay with that? Is what I'm saying. That's what you have to determine. And I've been in it. I've been in those shoes, and I understand what you're saying. And I've seen the people who are completely manipulated. But I've also been the one who has been manipulated a little, and then you reach a limit. You're like, no, stop.
But you never. Stop. Sounds like you were never in the deep end. Like you never had fully submerged your head. You never.
I guess I didn't.
Water and grew gills.
But my brother was, and he loved it. He loved abusing people like Tom Cruise does. I'm telling you, I've been there. I've seen it with my own eyes. It takes a person who is either okay with it or not okay with it because they don't have that big of a hold on him.
Is it seen as abuse in the way that we see abuse, or is it like in the greater good of some like weird spiritual path?
It's against their own policies. It's against their own policies, but they're okay with it because David Miscavige is doing it. And because Tom Cruise is doing it, they're okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. It's against their own policies. You have to understand that. And he's seeing it happen and he's okay with it.
Allegedly. Okay, I think we're seeing where we differ on this point. I think we can move on to the next one.
All right.
I take your point though. I do.
I do too.
Like if I were in those shoes, I would do all the right things.
This is one thing that cracked me up that I just found out about, but I've seen this with my own eyes at Celebrity Center with certain things, but not to this extent. Okay, at Gold Base, which is out in Hemet in the desert in California, and you guys have been out there. There's no grass, there's no trees, it's just desert. Okay, Tom Cruise desperately wanted David. God, now I just forgot his name, and I wrote it down. David, the David Beckham wanted David Beckham in Scientology, and then David Miscavige had a huge hard-on for David Beckham. They wanted him so hard in Scientology. They were probably hard to get him in Scientology. But so they built a soccer pitch out on Gold Base out in Hemet in the desert. And Mike Rinder said he was one of the people that had to deal with it. He said it cost millions of dollars because they had to build irrigation. They had to do leveling. Like they had to put a soccer pitch where a soccer pitch should not be. And for one thing, it's out in the middle of nowhere, and it's not like nice. Like it's not like he's going to go out there and it's a resort where the land base is.
Well, Palm Springs is out there, so it can be.
Well, it can be close, but there's soccer pitches there. Like just go there. But what I'm saying is on the land base where they have the soccer pitch, David Beckham never even went there. He never even went there. He's like, yeah, no, mate. And then he was like, I'm not into Scientology. Like nicely, he told him I'm not into Scientology. And then Tom Cruise just faded away. But he's standing there. Mike Rinder says he's standing there watching these people labor over this soccer pitch so they can get David Beckham there. It's just so like mental. It's so like not even reasonable or logical. It's like you said, Palm Springs is there. Put him up at a hotel in Palm Springs, but it's like so psycho that they have him on this base. Where, by the way,
They want to impress him, right?
Well, by the way, they're gonna.
They will come.
But yes, exactly. That's what Mike Rinder said. But by the way, he has to go through the gates, which I don't know if you've seen pictures of it. There's barbed wire facing in. There's barbed wire facing in to keep the people inside. So if you go on that base, you're going to be like, what the fuck is happening here? Once you're in there, you're David Beckham in a concentration camp in the middle of the desert with a soccer pitch.
He's just forced to play soccer forever. That's stupid. It's a weird one, like a weird thing against Tom Cruise, though.
But and that's another thing. I didn't even think of this. Tom Cruise has been to Gold Base and seen that the barbed wire faces in. You know the top of the barbed wire where it's like you have it facing out to keep people out? It's facing in. It's facing in all the way around the space. Tom Cruise has seen that. And still he's okay with it.
Who's in that base? Is it all Sea Org people?
It's people that can't leave. Shirley Miscavige was in there. Shirley Miscavige who's disappeared. It's people that can't leave. It's people that are working hard. It's people that are making their stupid shit. It's people that cannot leave. And it's people that are in the hole. It's the executives that are in trouble, that are in the hole and not allowed to leave and not allowed to talk to their families.
That's true. That's terrifying.
And Tom Cruise has been there and seen that and been serviced by these people. And not service. I keep saying serviced. I wonder why. And also there's a lot of people, I've talked about it on this program before. It's called the RPF. It's called the Repair Past Ethics something. Do you guys remember what that is at all?
No.
Oh, it's a group of people that are in really bad ethics trouble who have to work 16 hours, have to work 12 hours a day and study 8 hours a day or something like that. And they sleep like 5 hours a day and they have to run everywhere they go and they can't talk to anyone. And if you talk to anyone, you get in trouble. And you can only talk to someone if someone talks to you and gives you an order and you have to say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. And they're running around working. And it's a lot of old people too. You see old people like women in their 80s and stuff running around working and they're filthy and they're exhausted. You see on their faces, they're just like this, like, they have those people there. Tom Cruise has been there and seen that. He's seen these people running around and he knows what the RPF is. Everyone in Scientology knows what the RPF is.
Okay, can we move on to the next point?
I was going to say we probably have like 2 more minutes and then maybe like 6 minutes to give all the good stuff.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
you're going to have to power. We have to
Really
power.
All right.
I feel like we're in a very narrow point-making era right now.
Oh God, there's so much more. There's so many bad things.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Oh, the one thing I read is, his manager said that, oh damn it, his ex-manager Eileen Berlin said there's contempt, arrogance, frustration, charm, and sadness. Those are Tom Cruise's moods. What I have never seen is a real display of happiness in Tommy, which made me start to think that I know there's something really wrong with him. And she said that he would just flip on her in a minute. Like she'd be talking business with him and he'd just flip on her and scream at her. And for one of his birthdays, when he was becoming a star, she put together all his press clippings and put it in a book for him, a scrapbook. And he saw that some of them were for like teen magazines. And he flipped out and he said, I fucking don't want to be in teen magazines. I'm a fucking man and a star. And he threw it at her and hit her in the face and didn't apologize. And then later on in a meeting was like, now, do you get it? Do you get what I want? And she was like, yeah, I already knew what you want, but I just put that together to be nice. That's Tom Cruise. And one of the best things I ever read, a reporter said, a reporter who spent time with him and interviewed him said, Tom Cruise's laugh is the best Tom Cruise impression you've ever heard. Anyways, that's it. Oh, and the one last thing. There's more things. I have his blow up on the set.
I'm like am I the only one that just doesn't think laugh is that weird?
I don't know.
People fixate on that, but I don't know.
But it's just ridiculous. It's so false. His laugh is so false. false and
Maybe I
ridiculous.
watch more videos of it. I don't know.
Mike Rinder said that Mike Rinder, who had to spend a lot of time with him, who had to make sure he was set up on the base, spent, like would do all the things, spent tons of time with him, said that when the cameras were on, when there were people to record his activity, Tom Cruise was nice, shaking hands. He was the guy you see in interviews and stuff. Second the cameras are off, he would snap at him. He was rude. He dismissed everybody. He didn't care. He treated people like they were his servants. And he got into having the people of the Sea Org service him. And I'm saying again, that's what Mike Rinder said, and that's what other executives have come to say. Anyways, that's all. There's a lot more, but I'll let you get into the positive things because
that's a good assessment of his like personality outside of movies, which I think we'll more with Nathan.
And yeah, you get to the good things because I have one thing to say about one of the good things that reporter who said that remark said. But go ahead, yeah.
So you do have a good thing to report?
I do, but it led me to something else Mike Rinder said and that other people said and that a reporter said about the good things. But go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we already covered the People magazine sexiest man alive.
Wait, do you want to repeat it so that people know?
Yeah. 1990, Tom Cruise was selected as the sexiest man alive by People magazine.
Wait, let me ask you this. Do either one of you guys think he's sexy?
I think he was definitely very good looking back in the day. He definitely had he's had too much work done now.
Oh,
but it's pro work, so
I wouldn't like. I don't know. I like. There's not many people that I could hold a sexy flag up and fly it proudly. But he was,
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I think Tom Cruise is objectively attractive.
Yeah,
I would say that he got better work than Madonna did for sure.
I'll agree with you on that.
All right, so let me hit you with a few. So his Top Thunder co-star comedian Bill Hader revealed in a 2012 interview that Cruise had helped him through a panic attack and ensured that 2 days worth of work was completed in just 45 minutes so Bill could get home to his wife and daughter after a bomb scare in their hometown.
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty nice thing.
I read that.
Nice.
In 1996, Cruise stopped at a hit-and-run accident in Santa Monica, rescuing aspiring Brazilian actress, this woman whose name I'm going to mispronounce. Not going to mispronounce because I'll just mispronounce it. The actor took her to the hospital and paid her medical bills.
Pretty nice.
That's kind of nice. I've never paid for a stranger's medical bills.
Well, he's got the means to do that.
I
So
guess
don't compare.
I guess he does. At the 1996 London premiere of Mission Impossible, Cruise pulled 2 children out of the way of an onrushing crowd.
Oh my God.
In the same year, while sailing near Capri, Cruise saved people from a burning sailboat.
What? These are all real stories?
Yeah.
He's just like acting out his movies in real life?
I think so. All right. So
now that you got, there's more. I even found more than that.
Well, I only got a few because they're just so it's already decided by the People magazine sexiest man alive.
But do I have to remind you that Blake Shelton also won Sexiest Man Alive? Do I have to remind you that?
Okay, so Tom Cruise's worldwide box office as a leading actor is $8.49 billion.
It's a lot. It doesn't make you.
Yeah. But remember, for the first,
I think that makes a shit though. From the first episode, we said that we're gonna go on what the person is like, not any achievements. We said that.
It's true.
Did we say that? So it doesn't matter at all?
No, it matters. It matters to the extent that when we talked about Elon Musk, like, do his achievements, how much do they benefit the world and society?
Yeah,
like that's some weight.
Okay, so how many jobs has Tom Cruise created with his continued success as a film actor and producer? How much joy has he dropped into the world through
How much
entertainment.
joy has he dropped? You tell us. How much joy has he dropped into the
So
world?
Just because you don't like him as an actor,
It's
a lot
a
of
lot.
people do.
He's
You have to give him that.
for the year 2022. He's kind of single-handedly being crowned as the person who has saved like action films or like universally loved film.
No,
releases.
It was
theatrical release. Theatrical release.
the
Yeah.
only film last year that Fox News really loved.
That's true.
Fox News. All right. Which column does that go into?
Whoa. They're not, well,
Well, both sides. He's bipartisan.
just in films where he had a cameo, the worldwide box office was $296 million. Just when he had a cameo in the film.
He did have a great cameo in that comedy war film, Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. That's more than a cameo.
Pretty good cameo.
Yeah, that was
People.
pretty-
That's the only thing I haven't seen. People keep talking about how amazing that is. I have not seen that.
That might slightly change your opinion of his acting, David.
Yeah, it's
Let me
pretty-
see. Let me see. Because my
Yeah.
problem with him is he can't be vulnerable. He can't let himself go. He's always so controlled,
He's
and it's hard to
unrecognizable.
watch. It's really hard to watch for me.
Okay, so here we go. He's supported organizations such as Princess Trust, UK-based charity that helps young people, the Dizzy Feet Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to improving the quality of dance education in underprivileged communities. In addition to financial donations, Cruz has also been involved in various philanthropic efforts, such as participating in charity events and raising awareness for causes he supports. While the exact amount of his charitable donations is not publicly available, it is clearly he has made a positive impact through his giving. Now, David, you might want to say that since it's not disclosed how much money he's given, that he's obviously lying and hiding how little he's given. But doesn't it make him a better person that he doesn't flout it around with how much he's given?
No, because you know why he doesn't release. I know why he doesn't release how much
Okay.
he gives to charitable organizations. You always want to take a guess?
Well, you should just tell us.
Because he gives millions and millions of dollars to Scientology. It's the number one on the list. And that says something about
That's-
what he feels. If he was really that pro Scientology, he would release it and tell people.
Okay.
I mean, if the charities are talking about a Scientology, then that's a stupid.
I
point.
would bet most of those charities are
Like
Scientological.
Nicole Howard
because
right there. Tax the churches.
Yeah, thanks, Cole.
Tax
because
them.
you're not allowed to make charitable donations. Like the church has to sanction your charitable donation. They get really mad if you give to the wrong people. I would bet any amount of money he runs every charitable donation through the church in some way.
That could be. I don't know. Okay, so this might be better than the sexiest man alive accolade.
Uh-oh.
So this year at the Cannes Film Festival, he was awarded the prestigious Palme d'Or.
Palme d'Or for what?
Thank you, David. So it's the most prestigious award at the iconic annual film festival. It was this award started in 1955, and only 15 other people have received that award.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
But
Like,
what did he
think
receive
about
it
how much of
for?
impact he's
Yeah,
had on
what-
the film industry,
Oh, okay.
right? It's like their honorary award for
What about when he gave back his Golden Globes because of Black Lives Matter?
Oscars so Black and all that.
No.
Well, it was the Golden Globes was
Because they didn't have
they
enough
didn't have it.
representation.
They had no
in it.
representation by African Americans.
Do we feel like that was a good thing he did, or a stupid?
That's a good
stunt?
question. I mean, he was. I think he's the only person he's won 3 Golden Globes, and he was nominated a whole bunch. Let me see how many times he was nominated. Golden Globes. He was nominated 8 times. He won 3 Golden Globes, and he gave them all back as a standing up for injustice.
Injustice of what? Yeah, why did he give back his Golden Globes?
So the Golden Globes was under a lot of scrutiny because they've always been kind of like the loose and fun kind of award show compared to the Oscars. But the big issue was, so it's the Golden Globes. It's like the something Film Critics Association.
Hollywood Foreign Press.
Yeah, Hollywood Foreign Press. Thank you.
You were close.
Sure. Hollywood Foreign Press, but it was like all they've learned that like gaining access to that group of judges, so to speak, is like it's kind of like a pay to play, but also is just all white people. So it was critical because it was like, and there was a lot of like wheeling and dealing of how people got nominated or who won. Like there was a lot of corruption, so to speak, about who they selected, because you kind of wine and dine these people and they just like throw their votes around. I guess that was what was happening. Yeah. So they actually, the Golden Globes appeared for an entire year. They had such bad publicity because the
really
like, so white trending for so many years, and then it, you know, that started to shift. But then it was discovered that the Golden Globes, like there was no. I think the Oscars, so the Academy, they opened up a whole bunch of spots for. They increased their diversity tremendously. The voting pool, who actually votes on the Oscars, to try and correct a lot of what was happening. And then you look at the Hollywood Foreign Press, and they were just like, they were just a whitewashed. So
he gave his award back.
Yeah. So in protest, he gave them all back.
I don't know where that puts us. I don't know.
Is that a good? Does that make it good?
I
don't know.
It's hard to know what his intentions were. If they were, he genuinely was upset and wanted to make a statement. Like, I think that's great.
I bet it had a lot to do with the fact that every year they make fun of how gay he is, like in the monologues. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. I'll just, I think we'll just move on to like the last. So I think what's so amazing about Tom Cruise is that he is so controversial. Like people, he does divide people pretty. Either people don't care, they just don't like him, or they like his movies and don't even know about his personal life and don't care about his personal life and just know him as a movie star, or he really divides people. And he's had some huge controversies that nearly imploded his career entirely, whether it was jumping on Oprah's couch.
I don't understand today why it was a big deal.
Oh, really?
Well, first,
I want you to explain it.
Because I saw the video clip. I didn't even know it happened because I didn't follow pop culture for most of my
celebrity
life.
News. You didn't follow celebrity news.
So when I think I was on this podcast, we brought it up, and I was like, I'd never seen this before. I watched it, and it just wasn't like it didn't seem that weird.
Well, first of all, it wasn't just that. It wasn't just that he yelled at Matt Lauer. Well, the biggest thing was it wasn't the couch jumping. It was that he called Brooke Shields a loser and said her career had failed because she got drugs for. Yes, he did. The quote is, "Look at where her career is now, gone." That's what he said, because she took postpartum depression drugs. She was prescribed postpartum.
So I'm glad
it was all those three things at once. What?
I'm glad you brought up the Matt Lauer thing, because what he was saying back, what was that, 2007, 2005?
It was right. All those three things were right around the same time.
Yeah. So a lot of what I don't want to say a lot of what he was saying, but since then there have been a lot of questions about SSRI drugs and how effective they are. So his suspicion of them, one could argue that given the time that has passed since then, he wasn't necessarily wrong about how useful these drugs are. Because
I would push back on that, though, because I think he was just regurgitating the stupid shit that the church was telling him.
That 100%.
But sure, you can take that. But he was saying that he was like, why are we putting these people on drugs? So they're very anti-drug. And David, I don't want to dive into a deep dive about Scientology and all that stuff with psychiatry, because there is a whole bunch of things to unpack there. But just about SSRIs, so there was a meta-analysis of studies that indicated that SSRIs dropped the Hamilton Depression Scale, a decades-old clinical tool for measuring depression, and the scale goes from 0 to 52. So SSRIs, this huge meta-analysis of all these studies, says that it drops it by 10 points. Placebos drop people on the scale by 8 points, which is only 2-point difference. And for the threshold of clinical significance is 3 points.
Totally. But
I'm not saying that
Okay.
SSRIs shouldn't be prescribed or that they aren't useful. I think
You're just
kind
saying
of-
that maybe he wasn't totally wrong.
he wasn't so far off base the way he was lambasted, is kind of what I'm pointing out.
But just,
well, if he said what you said, I would agree with you. But that's not what he said. He said that Brooke Shields lost her whole career and she was a loser because she took these drugs. And then he discounted the entire field. Wait, and then he discounted the entire field of psychiatry. He didn't say like, oh, these drugs are bad and we should take a look. No, he discounted the entire field. He goes, do you know the origins of psychiatry? Because I do. And what he's talking about is 10 million years ago, there was psychiatry. No, I'm not kidding. I am not making this up. I am not making this up. L. Ron Hubbard says 10 million years ago, there was this group in outer space and they became psychiatrists to destroy. And the reason why L. Ron Hubbard hates psychiatrists is because they picked apart his. So that's what Tom Cruise is talking about. If Tom Cruise said what you said, fine. But he didn't say that.
What you're telling me is Tom Cruise believes that 10 million year old story, which to me proves that he is a true believer, which means he's so
and he's a psychopath.
So brainwashed by the cult.
But you guys are acting like he's a victim for being brainwashed. He's a participant in his brainwashing. He's a participant because he hears these things and he goes, "Yeah, that's true." Because you have to decide that they're true. What? What did you say? What?
You get brainwashed?
That might be the definition of brainwashing.
Yeah.
Well, no, brainwashing is under duress. Brainwashing is changing your thought process under duress. There was never a time when Tom Cruise was under duress within the Church of Scientology. That's where.
I don't know that because if you're blackmailing them, I don't know.
I want to throw out one negative and then one positive.
Okay.
And then I'm done, and
we have to vote.
Okay, so the negative is that we invited him to our wedding,
and he didn't show up. Is that a piece of shit or is that the shit, Nathan?
No, I'll tell you,
it's pretty bad.
It was pretty bad, and it's like I'm teetering on my vote because of this. But I do have to point out that we brought a cardboard cutout of him, and it brought so much joy to the wedding. Like the amount of joy that just his cardboard cutout brought to the wedding.
But not because of Tom Cruise. The joy was because of you two, not because of Tom Cruise.
Okay. Here's my last.
You're giving him too much credit.
Why Tom Cruise is the shit. So people are attracted to the types of characters that he creates. They're driven. They're dedicated. They're resourceful. They're elite. They're lifelong learners. They overcome obstacles. Now, to create the films that exemplifies these qualities, he walks the walk of these character traits. So people love him. You know, it's like, oh, he does his own stunts, but it's like, it's so much more than that. Like,
we didn't even talk about that. I thought you were gonna really get in on like what a badass stunt person he is.
He is a badass stunt person, but that's what everyone always talks about. So
our audience doesn't know that.
So he does his own stunts. And what's amazing is like he decided in the 90s, I think Val Kilmer was quoted talking about this. Like he's like, Tom Cruise decided he wanted to be the biggest action star in the world, and he did it. He made the sacrifices personally. He had the focus that he called it a laser focus to go after that goal, and he did it. So like his characters are, and I think Top Gun 2 is a perfect example because it was bringing back a character from the 80s, and all the films that have done that, gone back to old characters that people have loved that, you know, were, you know, like rebels who were like, you know, the ace pilot, like really good at their profession, whatever it was, and they, you know, had to fight the bad guys and they won, like persevere in the face of so many obstacles. Like those types of characters recently have been, when they're revisited, they're just like torn down and retconned and like shown as washed up and so forth. Tom Cruise decided that his Maverick character, that wasn't going to happen. So in Top Gun 2, he's still the best because he is the best. And he's like the only guy who is able to do that now, where it still inspires people and makes them want to be better themselves. And so it's like, okay, well, that's just a character.
Oh my God, I get it now. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So that's what he does for the audience. He like exemplifies that, but he does that in his personal life too. So for Mission Impossible like 6 or something. He spent 2 years learning how to fly a helicopter and then learning how to stunt fly a helicopter, to fly the helicopter himself for the climax of that film. Like, that is just unparalleled, other level dedication, like risking your life just to entertain the audience. It's
you didn't talk
insane.
about how he like made everyone in Top Gun 2 like made them like, I don't know. We watched this behind the scenes, like how the movie was made, and it was like, and Tom Cruise, like puppet master, like did everything himself, and he put all of the actors through like Marine training or like Air Force, like Navy SEAL training, where they had to like go into simulations as if a plane crashed and they were underwater, so they had to like they were like thrown underwater in wreckage and had to like figure their way out, like all just to be actors in this movie, because they were flying in these jets and going
real
like
jets, yeah,
Mach 3, and like their brains were exploding in the air. And they, like half the time they said they weren't even acting because it was just so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Your point is, I don't know, making him no, Nathan. Well, both of you guys' point together is kind of making him sound more like a psychopath than the shit.
Maybe.
But Nathan, I get it now. You don't like Tom Cruise. You like what Tom Cruise represents. You like his characters. That's what you like, and I get that. That I understand. That's what you should say at the top of the show, you sons of bitches, you horrible white people. Go ahead.
So that's true. But my point at the last statement is that he also walks the walk. Like, he also is
it's gonna be a hard
as a psychopath, but you made him sound like he walks the walk as a psychopath, though.
So another film I would recommend is watching The Last Samurai. And this is another.
I tried so hard.
That's a really good movie, David.
Listen to me. It might have been, but he's so like his acting is just. I want to rip my eyes out. Like,
it's a beautiful.
Go ahead.
Film.
Sorry, go ahead.
And his acting's fucking excellent in that film. By the way, the fight scenes are some of the best martial arts fight scenes I've ever seen in any film, and I've watched a lot of martial arts films, and it's just like so incredible. But his character's name is Nathan. So,
that's Nathan.
Yeah. I think we should.
Is that the moment? Well, God, all right. Well, I had a couple of points. Wait, I have a couple of points really, really fast.
You have 30 seconds.
A good point. One of the good points is we talked about he hasn't seen his daughter Suri in whatever, but he does pay her $33. He pays her $33,000 a month child support. So
good for her.
that goes in the plot. Like, I would love to have never seen my dad and gotten $33,000 a month, but he's going to cut it off the second she turns 18 and she's out. But
I don't think so.
She's good.
But Katie better have put that money aside.
Yeah.
He supposedly he is very good to his own fans. But again, it just reminds me of the Mike Rinder saying, "Yeah, when the cameras are on, he's 100% great."
This is something that I was really upset about because I didn't know when. So I have so many favorite films. Oblivion is just this beautiful sci-fi film that he made with the director of Top Gun 2. And it premiered in Hollywood.
Oblivion?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one.
It premiered in Hollywood when we were in LA, and I didn't go to the premiere. I didn't know that it was happening until the day after or something. It was on a Tuesday night. There were so many fans there, and he had an interaction, like signed something or did a photo or whatever with every single fan and held up the screening of that movie for 2.5 hours.
See, you told me that before, and I'm like, that could be also perceived as a dick thing too. Like all the people waiting.
Oh, you make him sound like a psycho.
Hollywood people who are just.
I don't know. Well, that to me is like it neutralizes. It's cool.
Your points, your points make him sound like a narcissist that is so desperate for people's approval. He's so desperate that Yeah, that doesn't make him sound amazing. And I just want to say on all, because I read a whole bunch of the good things that happened, and some of the people, the Scientology people were like, because all the good things he did, like saving this person and that fire, and they were all reported at events and things in Scientology as news. And like, and there's cameras there and there's video for some of them. And some of the Scientology executives kind of inferred or said that like maybe they weren't all real. Like maybe they could have been set up. And this reporter that had that quote said that this guy, because he lists off a whole bunch, because there's more, and he's like, this guy has done a lot of stuff that no one else has ever done. No celebrity. Like, where is he having all these interactions? Where is he seeing boats on fire and women getting hit and run and muggers and this and that? It goes, where, like, what is happening? Like, he's a celebrity that lives in his mansion. Like, how is he on the streets this much?
That does seem very suspicious to me. So I might lean towards David's.
Well,
like some of them were set up.
And they all got reported, and they were all released by the Church of Scientology that Tom Cruise did this and Tom Cruise did that. So
okay, whatever.
Let's
wrap it up.
Sure. Okay. This is what I believe, and I'm going to vote for you guys. I believe that Nathan really, I understand why he likes Tom Cruise. He likes the characters. I know that deep down in his heart, Nathan knows that if he really met Tom Cruise and got to know him, that he would go, oh shit. He would go, this fucker is insane. And my vote is that I don't know if I'd call him I think that he's done piece of shit things. And I think as a Scientologist, he's a piece of shit. But what I believe is that he's a very sad character. He's a very desperate person who has like, you know, a clinical, I don't know what it is, narcissism or sociopathy or something like that. But he's in desperate need. And I think that he can't control that. And that's what I think.
So he's the shit.
Yeah, where does that, if we're giving these black and white answers?
If I have to vote, he leans more towards piece of shit. Yeah. Well, but also that he has, like Nathan said, he has he's hurt a lot of people's lives. He's hurt a lot of people's lives, and he's helped to hurt a lot of people's lives. But he has also given people jobs, which they might have had, you know, like, because people move on to other movies. It's not like he's the only guy making movies. If I had to lean toward it, I'd lean towards piece of shit, because I've been in his shoes where you have to make the decision, and he had more control than I did in those times, and I got in trouble and I fought and I left, where he had more control and he stayed there and he made sure people would suffer. Piece of shit.
Nathan?
Go ahead.
He's the shit.
Do you want to like argue?
You're disregarding everything negative, aren't you? You're just disregarding it all.
No, I'm not disregarding it. I can't substantiate those claims.
So you're disregarding it.
I don't want to disregard it. I just like in the balancing act of this world, of these people, like he's the shit.
Wait, so do you not believe that he witnessed abuses and took part in them or benefited from abuses in Scientology?
Can't say if he has or he hasn't.
But no, do you believe? So do you believe that he has not witnessed or benefited from abuses within Scientology? Do you believe that?
When it comes to the Scientology thing, I see him, if anything, he's like sucked into the cult. And that's kind of where I put all the Scientology stuff.
But still, someone sucked into the cult, witnessing abuses and benefiting from them.
Like, I've given my vote. We have to.
All right.
Voted. Neither of you convinced me 100% on either of your sides. I'm honestly still very, very torn. You originally convinced me that he was a bad father, but I'm happy to hear he's paying her a lot of money like that. So that like kind of just
so that makes up for it. Would you? David,
do you know if the daughter wants to see him? Is she trying to see him?
Katie said at first she did, and Katie tried to make it happen but couldn't, and now she just lets it go. I'm
But
sure
the
that the daughter's 16 now. I'm sure she's like, he's a piece of shit. I'm sure he's like, fuck
She is
him.
now, yeah.
And I'm sure that she feels horrible. I'm sure that she feels horrible. And we're gonna see her on a stripper pole later on.
All right. So that stuff is like.
Wait a minute. Before you vote, Nathan, if she votes that he's a piece of shit, you have to give her a pass and you can't hold it against her. You agree to that?
She can do whatever she wants.
I'm not.
That wasn't an answer. That wasn't an answer.
Listen, I'm not going to vote just to appease my husband here. The Scientology stuff, I'm seriously just stuck on, and like because of all the things I said earlier. So it's really hard for me to say definitively about any of the Scientology stuff, like only because there's so much gray area with this whole cult thing.
I don't get that. I don't get that.
We don't know, and we will never like truly know what that world is like at that level.
None of us are taking into account that maybe Scientology is 100% correct.
What I am taking into account is I think he's a good actor. I don't think he's the best actor.
Really?
And I wouldn't say I'm a Tom Cruise fan where I would go to the movies just to see him. But all the movies I've seen him in are good. Some of them are great. Some movies like I loved, like The Firm was one of my favorite thrillers.
4 Academy Award nominations.
And I thought he was great in that. So like he has brought an insane amount of entertainment and joy to the world through his career. Now I have to weigh his career against his personal life, and like
as a person, what do you? Well, you can do it like I did it. As a person, what do you think he is? And as an entertainer, what do you think he is?
As an entertainer, he is 100% the shit. There's no one like him in the world. I don't know if there ever will be. The way he approaches the craft. I hate when people say that, but it's like no one is as intense and at that level, and it does kind of make him seem like a psychopath, like that he's gonna do all this himself, and he's gonna learn how to fly fighter jets just to make a movie. Like there's something about that that's crazy, and something about that that's totally badass too.
Yeah, it's the shit.
Yeah. I don't know how to vote.
So you answered as an entertainer, he's the shit, and as a person, as a father. All right, even just vote as a father. As a father, what is he?
Hey, he's paying child support. All dads.
He is paying child support. He is paying child support. And would you not ever see your father again for $33,000 a month?
No, I'd have to see my dad again.
You would? You'd rather see your dad than get there? Well, how about for 10 years? You don't see him for 10 years. You get $33,000 a month for 10 years.
That's just a horrible thing to say.
Can I sleep on it and come back?
I know that you think as a person he's a piece of shit. And I know that if you had to spend time with him, you'd go, oh God, oh geez.
I don't know. I do suspect that if I met him, I wouldn't like him in person. That is my suspicion. Because he does seem really, really intense. Like that intense personality. I don't think I would jive with that. I don't think we would be friends. But I wouldn't like want to or suspect or.
I think we also have to take into account that allegedly he's 5'7".
And I'm the only person here that's seen him in real life. Go ahead, yeah.
I'm just saying it could explain a lot. Why he's so driven.
Because I'm the only person here that's seen him in real life, and he's not only 5'7", he's diminutive. He's small. Like, because I've seen guys who are 5'7" that are big guys, and you're like, oh yeah, they're 5'7". It's like you see him, and you're like, is he 5'4"? Like he's little, and I think that's why he photographs well, is because he's proportionally very little.
Why he's the sexiest man alive?
Oh God, I don't get it.
I have to say, I am like, I'm on this leaning scale like you were, but I'm leaning a little bit more towards the shit. But it's not a lot. Like the scale is tipped a little bit in that direction.
He's a very controversial person.
His career is I don't know. It's unparalleled, I guess.
Okay, so I asked Chat
I don't
GTP
know.
about him.
Who's that?
Chat GTP, it's the AI.
Ugh, you have that?
Oh, I've never heard of that. Go ahead.
So basically he's a controversial person, has a lot of public criticism. There's not all of the allegations made against him have been substantiated. Nevertheless, these controversies added to his public's perception of him, for sure. But I mean, he's widely recognized for his talent, hard work, dedication to his craft, and he's become one of the most beloved and respected actors in Hollywood. He's the shit.
I don't know. This is really hard. It's really hard.
I think this is undecided. If Nathan was not your husband,
about my vote though.
if Nathan was not your husband, would you find it easier to say that he's a piece of shit?
I don't think I would have a different opinion. Honestly.
Okay.
I
just wish that today I would have found one piece of videotape where he didn't make me cringe. And I'm not being a dick, but it's just like when I watch, because if I, like when I saw Sylvester Stallone, it changed my opinion. I was like, oh, he did it. And I'm not saying he's the greatest actor ever, but when I saw Rocky 1, I was like, oh, that's why this movie did well, is because he is that character. Like he did well as that character. And I wish I would have seen that with Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise is so guarded and so false in everything he does with me that it just paints the picture. I see him now.
Magnolia? Did you ever see Magnolia?
That's what I watched today. Everybody's like, you're going to see me. And so he's so into the light and like being that guy. That guy.
That's what that character is. But did you see the scene where his father dies?
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
That's the scene. That's the scene he was nominated for. So
really?
Yeah, the entire character is him. He plays a character who is that showman that you're talking about. He's playing to the light. He's like being a performer. Like the character is like a snake salesman, basically, right? A snake oil salesman, right? Like the TV equivalent. But there's the scene where he finally goes and meets his father, who he's been estranged from for like the last 20 years and who he hates. Go watch that scene.
All right, I'll watch that and I'll report back.
The scenes of him in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, and watch that.
I don't know.
All right, I'll watch that too.
You made a good point earlier that you were reading a quote, like he sacrificed his personal life for his career.
I said that?
Or it was a quote from somebody, I think, that he sacrificed his family and his personal life for this pursuit of this crazy career that he has. It's hard to weigh.
Yeah, it's not the most balanced approach to life, that's for sure.
No, I don't think he's a great person. Like I don't think he's like a pillar of the community. But I just feel like maybe his achievements are outweighing the things that are unknown and also like gray because of Scientology.
But do the ends justify the means?
I don't know.
All right, we made our decision.
He's like,
what is our decision? Our decision is one vote piece of shit, one vote the shit, and one vote undecided.
He's a little bit of the shit.
He's a little bit of. You did say that he's kind of a piece of shit too. So we're where we started.
Yeah, I know it's hard. I think that
I think that there's a part of Nathan that doesn't want to say that he thinks like as a person, Tom Cruise is kind of a piece of shit. I do believe that because
sure. I mean, like I don't know what he's like. I've never met him, right? Mm-hmm. To me, I think I worry if I were, they say never meet your heroes. Like I'd be worried to meet him because I'd want him to be. I have an idea in my head of what he should be. And there's no way anyone's going to meet that expectation, right? And he's an extremely driven person, and I'm way more laid back. So I think that we would kind of go past each other in a lot of ways. That's just personal interaction. In terms of the Scientology stuff, again, I feel like he's like, I don't want to give him a pass if he's like from what you're alleging about him, but he is in what many people view as a cult. And like, he, to me, comes across as a true believer. Like, he truly believes that. And so like, there's a greater good that he's moving towards with all of that stuff. And I'm not saying that in his mind. And I'm not saying that justifies what an outsider looking in would say is right or wrong. But I mean, it's like, there's like Harvey Weinstein like raped women, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a piece of shit. I don't think Tom Cruise is going around raping anyone, for example.
He's not raping women for sure.
He's being serviced by a lot of people, though.
He is being serviced.
I don't know. When we did Oprah and when we did Elon Musk, I felt like their lives were public in a different way. That Tom Cruise is just so much mystery around him.
Private. He's so private.
It's just so hard to know for sure.
He's kind of a classic movie star in that regard too, where
you're right.
He doesn't run his own social media like not that Oprah runs her own social media, but Elon Musk is tweeting his own tweets.
Yeah, you know what's in his head is coming out.
And Oprah is like, she is like orchestrating her public persona. Yeah. Tom Cruise, it doesn't feel like he's orchestrating that at all. Like it, like
100%.
Well, because it's so closed. So his Instagram account is like there'll be a picture a year until like a movie comes out. There'll be like one thing a year, and it's so like impersonal. It's so private, It's so there's nothing in his personal life or private life revealed. So that's why it's like this opaque place,
You're right. That is a good point. And probably the reason he's so enduring is because it's a mystery. Like, it's like Marilyn Monroe. It's a mystery. Like, people don't know everything, so they stick on it. Whereas like other people, we know about them.
Yeah, you can project a lot of you can project what you want. I think that's very obvious between the two of us. You really project what you see. So
yeah, totally. So I want to make 2 points before we finish. I think you had a good point, Nathan, that you said that because that is the way we should be. Even if you hear stuff, you need to walk into it observing. Although, and then whatever, like, but you still should listen to some things because he's still in this. But I think you guys are giving cult and brainwashing. Wait, just one more thing. You guys are giving a cult and brainwashing too much weight and too much significance as to swaying a person. So I think you guys have a totally different idea of what it is.
Did you not listen to our podcast on cults that we did with the cult expert? I think you should go back and re-listen to that episode.
I will, but you're also talking to someone who's in a cult, and it's the measure of a person to what they will do. That's what I'm saying, is like, if you're in a cult, it's like, if your kids are going to be killed if you don't do this thing, you can't judge the person. But if it's just because if you want the person to like you or not like you or whatever, that's the measure of a person as to what they will do inside a cult.
I think we'll agree to disagree on that. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm telling you as someone who was there, you're giving too much significance to brainwashing and cult mentality and true believers.
But that's the thing, is like, that was my point, is that I will just never know. That's why it's really hard for me to judge. Like, I feel like you can judge him at a different level. I just like, I don't have that experience. Like, I don't get it.
And one more part to the point is true believers, if you look through history, have always been a problem on this planet. They lead to slavery and genocide. And so,
unless Scientology's right.
Hey, it could be.
True.
It could be.
That's true.
All right. This was a long one and a challenging one. So thanks for sticking with us.
Tom Cruise has been vindicated.
Well, not really.
I guess if we're doing it black and white, you can argue that point. But okay. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank you, everyone. Go Eagles.
Go Eagles.
Yeah, that's great.
And beat it, bitch.
See